You're listening to Psych to Parent, where we turn brain science into tiny wins at home. I'm Dr. Amy, your not-so-typical school psychologist, mom of two, and endurance athlete. I love a good data set and a diagnostic manual. But I also forget permission slips, overthink IEP emails, and occasionally replay the moment I snapped at my kids in the car. In other words, I'm in the messy middle with you, not above it. This show is for parents of big feeling, big thinking kids who are tired of vague advice and Pinterest perfect behavior charts. Each episode, I'll pull back the curtain on what I see in real evaluations, school meetings, my private practice, and my own kitchen, and translate the research into simple scripts, tiny routines, and nervous system friendly tweaks you can actually use. Think of it as a nervous system rehab meets mindset coaching meets a smart, slightly spicy, non-judgy friend in your earbuds. We'll take one real life challenge at a time and shrink it down into 1 or 2 tiny wins you can start this week. No perfection, no 47-step sticker systems, just small, repeatable shifts that add up over time. Quick legal-ish note in plain English. This podcast is for education and support. It's not therapy, it does not create a clinical relationship, and it's not a substitute for personalized medical or mental health advice. If you're worried about your child's safety or mental health, or your own, please reach out to a trusted professional. Okay, deep breath, drop your shoulders. You're not behind and you're not alone. Let's get psyched to parent. Picture your house at 4 o'clock on a random weekday. Backpack hits the floor with that thud that somehow feels personal. Sneakers get kicked off in a place that is definitely not the shoe bin. Someone opens the fridge and stares into it like it's going to answer a deep philosophical question. And your brain is doing that parent thing when you're holding 12 tabs open at once. Who has practice tonight? What's for dinner? Did I reply to that email? Why do I feel like I'm already behind and it's not even dinner yet? Then the skylight calendar does its little cheerful ping. Not aggressive, not rude, just optimistic. Empty the dishwasher. Pick up toys in backyard. And you watch your kid register it. Eyes flick up, eyes flick away. Like the words are written in a language they don't speak. You get the first sound, the mumble. The second sound, the grumble. And then the full sentence, delivered like a TED Talk. I don't want to. And in your head, you're like, yeah, same. I also don't want to. That's not the question. You try again, calm voice. Hey, bud, dishwasher first. Your kid's body does that slow motion melt into the chair, shoulder slump, a long sigh like they've been assigned hard labor. I don't want to. It's a lot. Why do I always have to do it? I'll do it later. And then, like a different jump scare, we're not even in the kitchen anymore. We're in an entirely different conversation. Can you buy me sports trading cards? Soccer cards. The kind they're suddenly obsessed with because the World Cup is coming and now everyone at school is talking about Messi, Mbappe, Holland, or the new kid on the block that your kid says like it's common knowledge, Lamine Yamal. And you're trying to hold the line, not today, and your kid hits you with, I'll do the dishwasher if you buy me a pack. Or they might say, I'll only do it if you ask me 5 times. Or the line that makes parents' nervous systems leave the building, if you beg, I'll do it. And you can feel your body do the thing. Your jaw gets tight, your shoulders are up, your chest feels like there's pressure in it because you're thinking, I can't do 5 reminders for the rest of my life. I can't spend the next decade negotiating about emptying the dishwasher. And here's the sticky line I want to plant right here at the beginning because it's the whole episode. Calendars show the plan, reps build the skill. If the skylight is showing the plan, but the skill isn't happening, the problem is not the skylight. The problem is the system we're practicing. And today we're going to shift it without turning your home into a tiny HR department and without needing a brand new personality as a parent. And before we get super nerdy, I want you to hear this. If you've been bribing in the moment, you're not a bad parent. You are a tired parent trying to get through a Tuesday. And that's where we start. Hey, it's Dr. Amy, school psychologist, parent coach, and mom of 2. If you're here because chores and allowance have become daily negotiations, daily battles, or daily, I can't do this anymore moments, hi, you're in the right place, friend. Let's pull this out of the moral zone. This is rarely, my kid is entitled and that's that, or my kid is lazy and that's that, or I'm too soft and that's that. Most of the time, This is a skills and systems problem. It's a mix of executive function, like being able to start, sequence, and finish a task. It's chores that are too big and too vague, and a reinforcement system that got trained accidentally. Hello, 5 reminders. It's a nervous system piece, especially after school. And for kids between the ages of 8 and 14, negotiation energy, fairness energy, and autonomy energy. So here's what you're getting in this episode. We're going to talk about the difference between bribery and reinforcement. I'm also going to give a clear, parent-friendly breakdown of positive versus negative reinforcement because they're often confused. We're going to talk about a chores and allowance structure that builds skills and reduces nagging. There are 2 parent lab scenarios: what the parent says, what the kid does, what to do next. We have a troubleshooting sprint, if this, then this, a minimum viable day version for fried parents, and a simple long project timeline with micro celebrations. Because routine is built in reps, not lectures. And if your kid is currently in a sports trading card era, we're going to use that, not as the enemy, but as a real life example of motivation. Because I'm going to tell you, friends, that's the era I'm living in right now, too. We love sports trading cards in my house. Here's the thing: the goal isn't to make them want chores. The goal is to help them build the ability to do necessary things even when they don't want to. And that's a life skill. Let's name what bribery actually is in real life. Bribery shows up when you're late, you're tired, you've already asked too many times. You can sense the meltdown brewing. You're trying to keep the whole house from tipping. Bribery is a nervous system move. It's make the noise stop. So bribery sounds like, if you just do it, I'll give you $5. Fine, you can have the screen, just pick up the toys. If you unload the dishwasher right now, I'll buy the cards. Please, I can't do this today. And I want to say this gently but clearly. Bribery is not a parenting identity. It's a moment. But if bribery becomes the system, kids learn something very specific. I don't have to respond to the first ask. I just have to outlast you. If I grumble long enough, you'll sweeten the deal. Your frustration is the cue. And that's how you end up with, if you beg, I'll do it. That line is not your child revealing their true character. It's your child describing the system you've both accidentally practiced. And here's the good news about systems. Systems can change. Now let's talk about bribery versus reinforcement. Really, this is same privilege, different delivery. Here's the cleanest distinction. Bribery is reactive. Reinforcement is planned. Bribery happens in the messy moment to stop discomfort. Reinforcement is what you decide ahead of time when your calm brain is online. Reinforcement sounds like, here's the job, here's what done means. When it's done, the privilege unlocks. You can be annoyed, you don't have to like it, it still gets done. You can say, I'm checking at 6:30, I'm not reminding you all day. Same kid, same house, sometimes the same privilege. But the difference is this: you're not negotiating with your kid in the heat of the moment. You're holding a predictable agreement. And predictability is how we build skills. Because here's the truth: kids don't become responsible because we lecture them into it. Kids become responsible because they practice being responsible in small, doable reps, tiny wins, over time. Which brings us to the reinforcement language. Parents often tell me, I don't want to use negative reinforcement. And I'm like, pause. We need definitions because the words are confusing. Reinforcement means something that increases the likelihood of a behavior happening again. Reinforcement strengthens behavior. Now, there are 2 main types. Positive reinforcement. Positive means you add something after the behavior to increase it. Positive like a plus sign, not positive like good. Here's an example. Your kid empties the dishwasher, and then they hear specific praise and they earn a privilege. It can be something like, you did that without me hovering. That helps future us. You pick dessert. You choose the game. You get to stay up 10 extra minutes tonight. And I want to make something really clear. Reinforcement does not have to be money or stuff. It can be attention, choice, autonomy, time, roles like you're the playlist captain. Social reinforcement, like specific praise that actually names what they did. Now let's talk about negative reinforcement. Negative means you remove something after the behavior to increase it. Negative is like a minus, not negative like bad. Here's an example. When chores are done, you're excused from the cleanup block. Done means you're free. The unpleasant thing that goes away is cleanup time. That's negative reinforcement. And it's incredibly motivating for a lot of kids because it answers the question in their brain, when will I be done? Here's quick clarification. Negative reinforcement is not punishment. Reinforcement, whether it's positive or negative, increases behavior. Punishment decreases behavior from happening in the future. So if your goal is more follow through, reinforcement is the tool, and you can use it in a way that aligns with your values. Now, this only works if the job is doable, because clean the kitchen, it's not one task. It's 1,000 tiny tasks. This is one of the biggest reasons chore systems fail. When a parent says something like clean your room, do your laundry, pick up the backyard, empty the dishwasher, parents in their brains understandably think that's one task. Kids, they hear that differently. A lot of kids hear a shapeless blob of efforts, and I don't know where to begin. So what we do instead is we need to make the chores finishable. Finishable means there are 3 to 5 steps, a clear done, it's time-bounded, and usually it helps if there is a visible checklist. This is where in my house, I'm a big fan of using a sticky note. What I oftentimes will do with my own kids is we spend a lot of time cleaning on the weekends, and they are able to unlock screen time on Saturdays or Sundays, but there are certain tasks that they have to do. So I will write out a list on a piece of paper. Maybe it's an old envelope, a sticky note, whatever I find loitering on my kitchen counter. And there'll be anywhere from 3 to 6 specific things that they need to do. And when I give the list to my kids, I let them as siblings negotiate how they want to accomplish the task because I really don't care. I just need those tasks to be done. And they're very specific, like empty the dishwasher, take the trash out, make the beds. Because here's the thing, I don't want to build like this beautiful chore chart for Pinterest. I want it to be clear, concise, and something that they can reference and they can know when it's going to be done. So think about this in your own house. Instead of saying to your kid, clean the kitchen, your sticky note might say, put cups in the sink, plates in the dishwasher, wipe counter by the toaster, start dishwasher, shoes into the bin. Now you're reinforcing starting, sequencing, finishing, and checking off. That's the muscle. And here's the part I want to normalize. Kids can be grumpy while they build the muscle. They're allowed to have feelings. They're allowed to sigh dramatically. They're allowed to mutter. To me, the line is when it becomes loud, escalating, disrespectful chaos, because we don't want to reinforce that. But grumpy is human. And honestly, I'm a grown adult who hates cleaning. I have a laundromat in my bedroom that I've been avoiding like it's my job. So I get it. Your kids, I don't want to, is not an emergency. It's information. Now let's put allowance in the right place because that's where parents get tangled. Here's the values-based line you're holding, and I love how clean it is. There are things you do because you're a human, like brush your teeth, bathe, complete your homework, basic self-care kind of stuff. We don't pay for that. Then there are things you do because you live in a community. Empty the dishwasher, load the dishwasher, set the table, yard work, keeping shared spaces clean, helping with pets, taking out trash and recycling. Those are community contribution chores. And if your family chooses to earn allowance through those chores, money becomes a neutral learning tool with planning, delayed gratification, saving, spending, follow through. And if your kid is in a sports trading era like mine, this becomes incredibly concrete because suddenly the motivation isn't theoretical. It's, I want that pack. I want that card. I want to trade with my friends. I want to build my binder. And we can say, okay, let's link your wants to your skill building, not in a shamey way, in a real life way. This honestly leads perfectly into my nerdy sidebar, because I know some of you are thinking, if I reward chores, am I destroying intrinsic motivation forever for my kids? You're not wrong that there's a debate in the research world about extrinsic rewards and intrinsic motivation. And here's the way I want you to hold it. We don't want to slap rewards onto things kids already love in a way that cheapens them. But chores are not usually in the flow state, curiosity, joy category. Chores are in the necessary life tasks category. So here's the frame I like to use. We use reinforcement as scaffolding for a skill that isn't built yet, like initiation, follow through, tolerating I don't want to, finishing without a parent becoming the reminder machine. Then we fade support over time. where we use less prompting, there's more autonomy with our kids, and reinforcement becomes less constant and more natural. We move toward identity and values, like saying, in this family, we contribute. That's the long game. And that is exactly why grades are different. Grades are not a clean measure of effort. They're a messy soup of a child's learning profile, disability supports, teacher style, assessment design, our kids' anxiety, their executive functioning skills. So paying for grades can be unfair, especially if a child has dyslexia or a learning disorder and is working incredibly hard for a B. I tend to prefer effort-based rituals. If a report card comes out, we do something special. Ice cream, a family outing, a celebration of effort and growth. Not, I buy your GPA, more of, I see your work, I see your persistence. Okay, now let's build the day-to-day system that replaces the begging. Here's the follow-through loop where we replace begging with predictability. Here's what the loop looks like. First, we cue, then a finishable job, then check time, then reinforcement, then reset or repair. And the cue is not mom is losing it. The cue is chore block time. Pick a block. Maybe it's after snack, before screens, after dinner, Saturday morning. Predictability matters because it takes your kid's brain out of wait, when is mom going to explode mode? And then it becomes make the job finishable, like 3 to 5 steps, choose one checkpoint, I'm checking it at 4:30, and reinforce on purpose. It could be positive reinforcement where we provide specific praise and a privilege, or where we use negative reinforcement and we're excused early from the cleaning block. And when it doesn't happen, you use your age ladder. The younger a child is, the more support they're going to need, and the older a child is, the more ownership that they can take on. And before I go into the parent lab, I want to give you a quick exhale moment because I think parents need proof that this can get easier. Okay, here's a different scene. It's Friday afternoon, the week has been long, everyone's feeling a little crispy. Your kids get home and there's that moment where you can feel the household starting to tip. Like you're the one small inconvenience away from chaos. And then something small happens. Your kid knows the routine. They walk out to the curb, they bring up the trash can and the recycling bin, and they put them by the back door. It's not dramatic. It's not a big parenting moment with swelling music. It's just done. And you feel your shoulders drop. You exhale without realizing you're holding your breath because that's what routines do. They reduce the number of times your nervous system has to go on high alert. And here's what I want you to notice about that scene. Your kids didn't wake up one day intrinsically motivated to love trash bins. They learned it because it was clear, predictable, and repeatable. Remember, calendars show the plan, reps build the skill. That's the whole point. And we can build that same kind of predictability for chores like the dishwasher and backyard toys without you begging, without you bargaining, and without you buying a sports card pack in a moment of desperation. Let's talk about the parent lab. Here's parent lab scenario number 1. This is the fairness police negotiator. Here's what a parent might say. Here's the chore block. Your list is on the counter. Dishwasher and backyard toys. Here's what the kid does. Big sigh, muttering, it's not fair. Why do I always have to do the dishwasher? And then because we're in sports trading card season, I need a pack. Everyone's bringing cards to school. I'll do it if you buy me a pack, or I'll do it if you ask me 5 times. Now here's how you respond. We want to be calm and not make it the debate club. First, we want to validate without debating. Yeah, I know you don't love chores. That makes sense. Then we hold the boundary. You don't have to like it. You do have to do it. Third, we offer a limited choice. Dishwasher first or backyard first? You pick. Fourth, set the check time. I'm checking at 4:30. I'm not doing 5 reminders. And finally, connect motivation to the plan without bargaining. Sports cards are a want. Chores are the plan. When the plan is done, the privilege is open. Now, if your kid stalls or spiral into loud whining, that's where your younger kid support comes in. You might say something like, we're going to set the timer for 10 minutes. I'll help you start. And we do the first step together. And the first step is tiny. Maybe it's open the dishwasher, grab the silverware basket, put cups away. Then you fade back as the parent. The skill you're teaching is not be cheerful. The skill is start even when you're annoyed. Grumpy can count if the work is happening. Escalating loud whining does not get reinforced. Now let's do the one parents fear more, the middle schooler who looks at you like you're a commercial. I like to call this parent lab, don't care, leave me alone kind of kid. Here's what you might want as a parent. Chore block. Dishwasher is your job. And here's what your kid does. They get on their phone. There's no eye contact. Maybe they shrug. You might say, I don't care, or I'll do it later. I love when they say, I'll do it later. It's like, yeah, right. Or the silent version where they become one with the couch. Here's how to respond. First, state the agreement. This is your contribution to our family today. Next, choice with the deadline. You're doing it now or 6:30. I'm checking at 6:30. Third, link privileges to responsibility. When it's done, privilege is open. If it's not done at 6:30, your ladder shifts for this age. Sometimes a quick supported reset still makes sense, especially if the barrier is truly skill-based. But a lot of the time for middle schoolers, the barrier is autonomy. I hate being told what to do. So the default becomes, okay, it didn't happen. Your makeup job is dishwasher plus wiping counters. That repairs the impact on the family. Not shame, not yelling, repair. That's how we teach older kids. Choices impact the community. Now let's troubleshoot the places the system breaks down. If your kid only works when you beg, then 2 prompts max and a check time. Begging is retired, the system is the unit. If after school is a total crash, then move the chore block later. First, we might have a snack and some decompression time. Don't schedule chores at the exact moment their nervous system collapses. If chores are vague and huge, then make them finishable in 3 to 5 steps. Have a clear done and make it time bound. If your kid wants sports trading cards nonstop, then use it as motivation, but don't bargain in the moment. The plan comes first, the wants come after. If the winning gets loud and escalates, pause, regulate, reset. Grumpy counts, loud, disrespectful escalation doesn't earn privileges. If siblings are in a fairness court, then rotate jobs weekly and make it visible. Predictability reduces courtroom drama. If your kid says, you're bribing me, you can say, bribing is panic paying in the moment. Reinforcement is our plan. If your kid doesn't care about money, use non-tangible reinforcers like choice, time, autonomy, being done early, picking music, picking the game. If you feel fried as a parent, then we want the minimum viable day. 1 chore, 2 steps, 10 minutes, 1 rep. And speaking of fried, I want to talk about the minimum viable day for a parent that is in the I can't do the full system today kind of plan. All you need to do is pick 1 chore, just 1, maybe the dishwasher or the backyard. Then make it 2 steps, not 5, 2. Put plates in the dishwasher. Put the cups away. Third, run 1 supported reset block. Timer for 10, start together. Fourth, reinforce non-tangibly. You can give specific praise and 1 small privilege. You might say, you did the steps even grumpy. That counts. You picked the show tonight. And finally, stop. You're not building an economy day, you're building 1 rep. 1 rep helps build skill. Now, if you want to turn this into something that sticks, here's the simple timeline. This is a 4-week skill build and micro celebrations. Now think of this like training. We don't lift heavy once, we do reps. So week 1 is onboarding week. This is where we make sure chores are small and finishable. Reinforcement is immediate and predictable. There's a high level of scaffolding where we're helping to support our kids. And the milestone could be, we did chore block 3 times this week. In a micro celebration, your kid picks the family game or dessert. In week 2, this is all about consistency. We use the same cue, same check time, same reinforcement rules. And the milestone might be 2 weeks of consistent check-ins. A micro celebration could be choose Saturday breakfast or car music. Week 3 is where we fade. So there's less help from the parents. Our kids have more autonomy and reinforcement is less constant. It's not gone, it's just lighter. And the milestone could be first time kid initiated without prompting. A micro celebration could be extra time with a friend. Maybe it's a later bedtime on the weekend. Week 4 is ownership week. This is where there is more repair and makeup jobs when missed, less coaching from you as a parent, and there's more, this is your contribution to the family. A milestone could be no 5 reminder spirals this week. And a micro celebration could be a movie night where your kid chooses the movie. Put milestones on the calendar. Let your kids see the progress. Micro celebrations don't have to cost money. And here's the line again because it's true. Calendars show the plan, reps build the skill. Now I want to give you parenting scripts you can borrow because in the moment, everyone forgets their words. Borrow these lines from me. Parenting script number 1, the reset. This isn't about good or bad, it's about building skills. We're running this plan for 1 week. Script number 2, the ask. Chore block. Your list is here. Start with either one. I'm checking at 4:30. Script number 3, grumpy is allowed, disrespect is not. You can be annoyed, you can grumble, You can't be loud and mean. If it turns into yelling, we pause. Script number 4, supported reset block. Timer for 10. I'll help you start. We do the first step together. Then I'm stepping back. Now let's talk tiny wins. Remember, pick one is enough. Tiny win number 1, make one chore finishable. Rewrite one chore as 3 to 5 micro steps on a sticky note. Tiny win number 2, choose one non-tangible reinforcer that your kid can earn. Maybe it's picking a game, a dessert, picking the music, or being done early. Tiny win number 3, install a check time. Stop reminding all day. Pick one check time and stick to it. Tiny win number 4, run one supported reset block. 10 minutes, start together, and then fade back. Tiny win number 5, name what you're reinforcing. I saw you do it even grumpy. That's follow through. Remember, pick one is enough. Before you go, there are 3 quick favors I want to ask of you if you found this episode helpful. Favor number 1, leave a review so more tired parents can find the show. Favor number 2, share this episode with a friend. Send this episode to the friend who is tired of nagging about chores they're about to give up on and do all themselves. Favor number 3, snag the Summer Without the Spiral workshop replay plus the Summer Command Center guide. It's the whole summer system, screens, routines, resets, so you're not reinventing summer every morning. Okay, take a deep breath with me. Let's close this out. You know that moment when the skylight pings and the dishwasher turns into a family negotiation, complete with sighing, grumbling, and a sudden request for sports trading cards? In this episode, we pulled that moment out of the moral zone into the skill zone. We talked about why clean the kitchen isn't one chore, it's a pile of micro tasks, and how finishable lists in a single check time can replace the 5 reminder spiral. We clarified bribery versus reinforcement, including reinforcement that doesn't cost money at all, specific praise, choice, and being done early. And as you head into this week, I want you to picture your system like a simple loop. Cue, finishable job, check time, reinforcement. Grumpy can count as long as the work is happening. Loud, escalating whining is not the thing that earns privileges. You're going to try one sticky note list, one non-tangible reinforcer, and one supported reset block if you need it. And you're going to remember, especially on the Fridays, that tiny reps are how kids build follow through. And the next time you sit at that tiny round table in that tiny chair, remember, schools have expertise and you are the expert on your child. Your insight is not extra, it's essential. You're not behind, you're building a partnership, and you're building skills, yours and theirs. One small, doable step at a time. Until next time, my friends. Thank you for hanging out with me on Psych to Parent. I'm Dr. Amy, your not-so-typical school psychologist, and I'm genuinely glad you're here doing this work instead of quietly white-knuckling it and blaming yourself. Your tiny win from today's episode is simple. Do not overhaul your entire parenting style. Pick one idea, one sentence, or one tiny shift and try it in a low-stakes moment this week. Then notice what changes, even if it is just by 1%. If you want more support, head over to psychtoparent.com. You'll find show notes, simple scripts, and parent-friendly guides that go with these episodes. While you're there, make sure you join the Tiny Wins mailing list so you get weekly brain-based tips, real-life examples from my work with families, and first dibs on new workshops and resources. It's the easiest way for us to stay connected beyond the podcast. If this podcast was helpful, it really does matter when you tap follow or subscribe. Leave a quick review or text it to a friend who is parenting a big-feeling, big-hearted kid too. This podcast is for education and encouragement. It is not therapy, and it's not a substitute for individualized care. If you're worried about your child or yourself, please reach out to a trusted professional in your area. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are building something new, one tiny win at a time. I'll see you in the next episode, probably with a cold coffee in hand, cheering you on.